Okay, great. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Yoga at the London Buddhist Centre. My name's Anna and I'm going to be leading the class today. So we're going to make a start in a few minutes, in about 3 minutes. But in the meantime, if you want to say hello in the comments, then please feel free. We've got a live chat on the video. So yeah, do let us know, especially if it's your first time joining us here. So I've got Polly behind the camera, and and they'll be reading out some comments. So yeah, do feel free to write where you're tuning in from, or yeah, letting us know whether you've practiced here before. And I also wanted to say that Shradagita, who is one of the other yoga teachers here, you might have practiced with her, yeah, on some of the other yoga classes online. It's her birthday today, so I imagine she's probably not watching, not practicing today. But yeah, happy birthday to Shradagita, or whatever you're up to. Is anyone saying hello, Polly? Not yet. Okay. Okay, great. That's great. So yeah, do just make sure that you've got everything that you need for the practice, which will be focusing on yoga for relieving stress. So yeah, you might want to have just something that you can sit on, like well, I've got blocks, but you can also have a cushion or a blanket, if you like, as well. And yeah, it's a really, really lovely day. It's been such a lovely week weather-wise, so you might be lucky enough to be able to practice outside. Yeah, which is always a really, really nice thing to do. Although the ground is quite uneven, it sometimes makes it a bit more difficult to balance. Michelle is in her garden. Oh, hello, Michelle. lovely to have you here. So when we used to teach classes at the Buddhist Centre where people would actually come, Michelle was a regular, and she always had the same spot, sort of in the, well, as I'm facing, it was in the right-hand corner of the room, the front right-hand corner. So lovely that you're still a regular, even though you're not coming to the centre. Yeah, so welcome if you're just tuning in. And yeah, we're going to make a start because it's 12 o'clock. So yeah, hello everybody, and thanks for coming to this yoga class today. So we're going to have a 45-minute class, and it's going to be more focused on yoga, which particularly, or postures and breathing exercises that are particularly beneficial for reducing stress. And yeah, I would say that yoga as a whole, as a discipline, is excellent for helping to reduce stress levels. And I think, in particular, when we're practicing with this focus in mind, I would really, really recommend that you really listen to your own bodies and don't work into anything that is painful or that causes you to become stressed. We don't want to pile on the extra stress here. I used to teach some classes where we would say that stress in this space or in this room, we want to throw it out the window. We don't want it in here. So yeah, stress can stay outside for this class. And yeah, sort of linked to what I'm saying is also just to bear in mind that I can't see any of you, and you might not have done a lot of yoga before. So yeah, do your best to just listen to your body, especially if you're not familiar with yoga and yoga postures, and yeah, just try not to work into anything that hurts. And if you're feeling particularly tired, then do just stop and rest. So we'll start with a very short seated, just grounding, and then we'll move from there. So we'll move quite a bit today, and then start to kind of wind down into some more. Well, we'll wind the practice down, but we'll move quite a bit. But first, just starting, settling yourselves down, closing your eyes. In any position that works for you, just finding a comfortable seat. And just paying particular attention to the way that the body is arranged in your seat. So just noticing whether you're feeling like you're sitting up tall, or whether the spine is rounding. And if you're sitting up tall, then could you still introduce an easeful quality to your seat? Also, we're looking to cultivate that balance between a seat that is steady and comfortable, alert, but relaxed as well. And then without moving them, just take the awareness to your hands. And just notice if you can feel any physical sensations on the surface of the skin or sort of inside the hands, the fingers. Perhaps a subtle tingling or the touch of air on the skin. And then just allow the awareness to travel up to your forearms. And then to include the upper arms, the shoulders, the shoulder blades. And as you take the awareness to the shoulder blades, I'd like you to imagine just a subtle lifting, pressing forwards of the shoulder blades to help you broaden the chest. And then as you feel that expansion of the chest, to start to notice the breath in the body, the breath in the trunk. And see if you can feel the breath around the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and open your eyes. And we're going to start with or really a self-massage, and it'll be very short, but I'd like you to keep the awareness in the shoulders and the arms as you come onto this this little sequence. So take your left hand and place it right at the place where your neck starts to meet the shoulder, and then you're going to give that area, the nape of your neck, a good squeeze. And it's tempting to go quite quickly through this, but we're going to take a little bit more time over it. So you'll feel that there's a kind of muscle that connects the neck to the shoulder, and just start to press down it. And it's almost like you're kneading your neck and your shoulder, like you're making bread. And then just reach behind you so that you're just touching the top of your shoulder blade, and give that a little massage as well. And then come down onto the tip of the shoulder, the cuff of the shoulder. And then just making your way down to the upper arm, and I'd like you to give the muscles there, sort of grab onto them, and then as you roll the muscles in, roll your arm out, and then do the opposite. So roll the muscles out and roll the arm in, so you can feel the muscle and the flesh sort of moving around on the bone. Yeah, and then we'll come down onto the forearm. And just grab a hold of the forearm and sort of draw the skin of the forearm down and then up. So don't be afraid to use a little bit of pressure there. And try to keep both shoulders relaxed as you move through this. Good. And then spread the palm, and you're going to take your thumb and massage the base of the palm. And really tune into how it feels to have just this skin-to-skin contact. And feeling if there's any tightness through the hands, through the fingers. And then one by one individually, just take the thumb, the first finger, the middle finger, they might be clicking, the ring finger, and then your little finger. And then a couple of times just brushing all the way down that arm, all the way down, like you're sort of putting lotion on or something. And then before we do the second side, just pause. So rest the hands on your lap, close your eyes, and just notice whether your left and your right arms feel different. And to test it, the arm that you worked on, just reach it up towards the ceiling or the sky. And then bring it down. And then do the same on the other arm. So the arm that was massaging, reach it up, and then take it down. And just notice whether the two arms, the two hands feel different. And then we'll do the other side. So taking the right hand and start right at the place that join the neck and the shoulder. And like you're making bread, start to knead or massage down that muscle. You'll feel it. It might feel quite tight. And then just pressing into the tip of your shoulder blade, so reach around if you can. And then just try to keep breathing, try to keep a steady breath here. So even if you don't feel like doing yoga, but you'd like to sort of just do something that sort of de-stresses a little bit, this can be a really nice thing to do. So just coming down onto the tip of the shoulder. And especially if you're spending a lot of the day in one position, sort of hunched over a desk or something. And just taking the upper arm, rolling the muscles and the flesh out, the arm in. And then changing the direction of the roll. And then just moving down onto the forearm. A little squeeze there. And then onto the palm of the hand. Massaging out the palm, the base of the thumb, the knuckles. And then individually taking hold of the thumb. And then the first finger. Middle finger. The ring finger and the little finger. And then just brushing all the way down the arm. Like you're putting on your favorite lotion. And then again, just pausing, resting the hands on your knees. You can close your eyes and just notice any sensations through the arms and the hands. Good. And then from there, start to circle the arms up over the head. And then when they get up to the top, make fists with your hands and then pull the arms down. Good. And then release the fists, spread the fingers, press the hands away from you. And then bring the hands back together or together in front of the chest. And then a few more times. And now with your breath. So on the inhale, circle the arms up. On the exhale, pull the arms down. Inhale to press the hands away from your body. Spread the fingers. And then exhale, hands together in front of the chest. So a few more times. Nice long breath in. And then focus especially on lengthening the breaths out. And then inhaling, pressing the hands away. Exhaling, hands together. Let's do that 2 more times and just feel free to move at your own pace. So it might be slower than me or a little bit quicker. But try and allow the movements to take the full length of the breath. And if you get a little bit confused, it's okay. Just move your arms in some way on every breath, on every inhale, on every exhale. This last one can be the slowest one yet. Hands together. Good. And then try and keep that pace of breath, but come into a twist. So take the right hand across to your left knee, left fingertips to the ground behind you. So breathe in to sit up nice and tall. And then breathe out to allow the chest to rotate around towards your left. So breathing in and breathing out. Nice easy twist. And then coming through center and take it to the other side. So left hand comes across, right fingertips lightly to the ground behind you. Sitting up tall, breathing in. A nice long breath out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Good, and then coming through center and come to your hands and knees. We'll take a few cat-cows here. And again, so as you make your way to hands and knees, take the shoulders over the wrists, the knees underneath the hips, spread the fingers. And then as you breathe in, just come into a small back bend, so let the heart lift up, the belly drop down. And then a nice long breath out as you round the spine and curl in, right to the end of the out breath. And then breathing in to take the movement in the other direction. And again, accentuating the out breath. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can. And then one more like that. So on the in breath, looking forwards, spread the fingers. Nice. And then on the out breath, nice long exhalation. And let the head really relax. Good. And then from there, press your big toes together and send the hips back towards your heels. Come into child's pose. Forehead comes down to the ground. Take a steady breath in here. And a long breath out. And then looking forwards, start to slide out so you come all the way down onto your belly. Hands under your shoulders, root down through the tops of your feet. And then just come up into a low level cobra. So feel the shoulder blades draw towards one another down your back. Heart lifts up, back of the neck long. And then on the out breath, coming down to the ground. And this time, through hands and knees, tuck your toes under and press yourself up into downward facing dog. So spreading fingers nice and wide. And just using the little bit of time here to take any movements that feel good, that help you find space. I'm going to sway my hips a little bit from side to side. You might also want to pedal out your feet. And just notice whether your neck is feeling compressed at the back. Yeah, so just see if you can let the head relax. Let the chin drop down towards the chest. Let the crown of the head reach towards the thumbs. Lovely. And then looking forwards, step or walk to the front of your mat and come into a forward fold. And again, really accentuate the kind of rounding of the spine, the curling in here. So knees can be nice and soft. You can take hold of your elbows here and just let yourself rock from side to side. So let the body be, or let the upper body just hang here for a moment. And a couple of steady breaths, focusing on the lengthening of the out breath. Good, and then release whatever you've got hold of. If you've got your arms, just release them down to the ground. And then look at your feet. Really spread your toes out so you can feel the space between your toes, between the individual toes. Press the feet down into the ground. And then from there, slowly roll up to standing. And keep the feet pressing down as you come up to standing. Stay in contact with the ground. Keep the spread of the toes. And then just taking a couple of breaths here. So on your in-breaths, feel like your spine lengthens. And as you breathe out, it's as though you're breathing out all the way down to your feet. Like you can send the breath down into your feet. So on the in-breath, imagining the chest expanding, the chest lifting. And on the out-breath, there's that sense of connection to the ground. Good. We're going to do some sun salutations with the breath now. So as you breathe in, circle the arms up over the head, look up. And then as you breathe out, fold all the way forwards and down, so the fingertips come to the floor. Look forwards as you breathe in, lift the chest. And then keep the fingertips on the ground, but step your right foot back. Tuck the toes under. Breathe in, look forwards and energize your back leg. And then as you breathe out, hands come down, draw back into downward facing dog from here. Good. And then from here, inhale, look forwards, bend your knees. And then knees come all the way to the ground. Child's pose, so hips back towards the heels, just like we did earlier. Look forwards as you breathe in and slide forwards, come into a low cobra, lifting the chest. And then breathing out, lower down. Press back through all fours, tuck your toes, and draw back into downward facing dog once again. Take a full breath in. And a long breath out. And just make sure the gaze is steady, fixed in one spot, or you can also close your eyes and just feel into the body. Good. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look forwards. And on an out breath, step your right foot through to between your hands. You can help it along its way with your right hand. Come onto fingertips, look forwards, breathe in. And breathe out. Step the left foot alongside the right. Forward fold. Press into your feet. Circle the arms up. Look up. Join the palm. And breathe out. Take the arms down alongside you. And then we'll do that leading with the left side. So press the feet down into the floor. Circle the arms up as you breathe in. And breathe out. Soften your knees and fold forwards, fingertips to the ground. Look forwards. And then step the left foot back, long. Firm up that left thigh. Look forwards, inhale. And then as you exhale, hands come down, pressing back to downward facing dog first. Good. And then coming onto your tiptoes, take the knees to the ground. Draw back into child's pose. Pull the belly in as the hips go back. Looking forwards, sliding out onto the belly. Lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back. Low cobra. And then breathing out. Draw back into downward facing dog from there. So you can either take a few breaths in downward facing dog. That's what I'm going to do. Or if you want to run through that little sequence again, then you've got the time to do that now. Alternatively, if you'd rather rest in child's pose for the next few breaths, you can do that too. But wherever you are, just doing your best to stay connected to your breath. Stay connected to the points of contact between your body and the ground. Okay. So when you're ready, coming through downward facing dog, soften your knees, look forwards, and then step the left foot through to between your hands. Come onto your fingertips, look forwards, and then step the right foot alongside the left, folding down. Press into your feet, lift the arms, circle the arms up, looking up. Good. And then arms are going to come down, breathing out. So now we're just going to do a couple of variations without the lunges and with a plank position. So when you're ready, circling the arms up as you breathe in. And then breathing out, folding forwards. Accentuate the out breath here, lengthen the out breath. Look forwards. And then exhale, step back, come into a plank pose from there. So 2 feet go back, spread the fingers wide, firm up the front of the thighs. Good. And then pressing the floor away here, knees are going to come down to the ground and then slowly lower the body down as well. Untuck your toes, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, heart forwards. And then downward facing dog as you breathe out, or come through child's pose. 2 breaths here. Nice, slow, steady breaths. And when you're ready, softening your knees, looking forwards. And then step the right foot, then the left foot to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Press the feet down into the floor, circle the arms up, lift the chest, breathing in. And breathing out, arms come back down alongside your waist. Let's take 1 more of those. So circling the arms up as you breathe in. And breathing out, folding forwards, fingertips to the floor. Look forwards, pull the belly in. And then hands down, step back to plank pose. Take a full breath in, press the floor away. So you can either keep the knees lifted here and come through chaturanga, or I'm going to keep lowering my knees to the ground and coming all the way down to the floor. Inhale, coming into cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhaling, coming through downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Checking in with the back of your neck. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, we're going to come into some standing postures now. So look forwards and step through your right foot through to between your hands. Spin on the ball of your back foot, ground the back heel, and come into warrior 2 from there. So nice wide stance, potentially a little bit wider than is comfortable. Press both of your feet down into the floor. Look over your front middle finger and drop the front thigh. Nice and broad through the chest. Steady through the breath. Just keeping the breath flowing. Good. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and straighten your front leg. Shuffle your back toes slightly in. Reach your right hand forwards. And take your right hand down onto your right shin. Lift the left arm up. And you can either look up towards that top thumb or relax the neck completely and just look down towards your right big toe. So it's a triangle pose, but the head is sort of floppy. I find it quite difficult to balance in this variation. Just taking a couple of breaths. Try to make sure that back leg stays engaged. Good. And then press into your feet, coming all the way back up to standing. Rebend your front knee. Good. This time, reaching forwards through your right hand, right forearm to right thigh. Left arm reaches alongside your left ear for extended side angle pose. And then the same again. You can either look up towards that top hand, as in the traditional version, or just let your right ear come towards your right shoulder. So you're kind of relaxing the neck, looking a little bit down. If you've got a bit more range, you might be able to take your right hand down towards the floor. And you can keep looking down for today. But see if even if you're looking down, you can rotate the chest around towards the ceiling. How's the breath? Good. And then pressing into both of your feet, coming all the way back up. And then we're going to do the same 3 postures on the second side. So turning your right toes in, your left toes out. You might want to slide the stance out a little bit here. And then bend into that left knee. Take your arms out wide. Good. So pressing into both of your feet, feeling that connection with the ground. And then from there, dropping the front thigh a little bit deeper. And then that sense of broadening across the chest. Nice and strong through the arms. Good. And then straightening out that front leg. You can shuffle the back toes slightly in, reaching the left hand forwards, tipping down. Right arm reaches up, either looking up at your top thumb or just letting the neck relax. So let your left ear soften down towards your left shoulder. And then continue to breathe. Slow, steady breaths. If you feel stable, you can also close your eyes and just feel into it. I was practicing this morning and I fell over, so be careful if you're closing your eyes. Then pressing into both of your feet, coming all the way back up, rebending your front knee and coming into Parshvakonasana, side angle pose. So left forearm comes onto left thigh, right arm reaches over and up on the diagonal. And then again, either looking up towards your top hand, as in the traditional version, or just letting your left ear soften down towards your left shoulder, looking a little bit down towards the ground. But then see if you can keep rotating the chest around towards the ceiling. So it's not the only way to do this posture or the only way that I recommend, but just you might want to see what it feels like for today. If you've got a little bit more range, your left hand can come down to the ground. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. And then pressing into both of your feet, coming all the way back up. Turn over your feet and then just step to the front of your mat. So coming into mountain pose again, Tadasana. Close your eyes. Feel the spine lengthen. Feel the feet pressing down into the ground. Good. And then open your eyes and take your hands onto your hips. We're going to come into one more standing posture here. Step your right foot back. Not too far. We're going to come into a revolved triangle from here. So just about 2/3 down your mat, or maybe even less than that. Hands on your hips, hips more or less pointing forwards, 2 straight legs. Start to hinge forwards at your hips, and then keep your left hand on your left hip, reach your right arm towards the front of your space. And then keep reaching forwards, Right hand is going to come onto your left shin or onto a block. Or if you've got a lot of range, you can take your right hand to the ground outside your right foot. And then on an in-breath, lengthen through the spine. And on an out-breath, start to rotate your chest around towards your left-hand side. If you feel very steady, you can reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. You can look up towards your top thumb. Keep lengthening through the spine, through both sides of the waist. Lovely, and then to come out, looking down, take the hands back onto your hips, soften your front knee, and slowly come all the way up. Well done. It's quite a tricky posture, that one. So step forwards, mountain pose. And then we'll do the same thing on the second side. So take a step forwards with your left foot this time. So it's not as wide of a stance as with the other standing postures that we've done today. A little bit shorter stride. And your back toes are pointing towards the top left-hand corner of your mat. Hands on your hips. Start to hinge forwards. So can you see the spine is still quite long? I'm not rounding the back. Reaching forwards through your left arm. Right hand stays on right hip. Draw the right hip crease back. And then left hand comes onto left shin. 2 straight legs as you start to turn the belly, the ribs, the chest around towards your right. And then you can take your right arm up if you feel steady. Keeping some awareness on that back foot. Lovely, and then looking down towards the ground. Hands come onto your hips, slowly coming all the way up. Well done. Step the feet towards the front of your mat. And you might just want to bend and straighten the legs for a moment. Just let the arms go. And then coming into stillness. So this is the last standing posture we'll do. Just one more. Tadasana, standing tall like a mountain. Okay. And then from here, just make your way into a seated position. And we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Okay? So sending the legs out just as wide as is sort of workable for you, as is comfortable. You can also sit up on, you probably don't have blocks, but you can use a cushion or a rolled up towel if you're feeling very tight in the hamstrings. And then what I'd like you to do is just take your hands onto the very tops of your thighs and press your hands straight down. So you're sort of grounding your thigh bones down into the floor. And then with that, flex the feet and then start to lean the body slightly forwards. And if this is feeling very, very intense, then just stay sitting up straight. And if it's feeling interesting to keep the hands on the thighs, then keep them there. Or you can take the fingertips out in front of you and then fold forwards a little bit more. You might also want to just sway the chest slightly from side to side. Yeah, or if stillness feels more appropriate, then you can be still. Depending on your range of motion, you might be able to come onto forearms. Or you might be sitting up a little bit straighter, a little bit taller. Feel free to adjust the position of your legs if you need to. And then for the last couple of breaths, just closing your eyes if that feels okay. And just tuning into your breath, tuning into the sensations of the body. There might be points in the body that are vying for your attention a little bit more, where the sensations are slightly stronger. So just notice that. And see if you can distribute the awareness around the other parts of your body as well. So what do the arms feel like and the shoulders? What does the jaw feel like and the forehead? Good. And then when you're ready, just walking the hands back so you come to sitting up tall. Good. And then from here, we'll come into a side bend. So take your right hand and place it outside your right leg. So the hand is just pressing down into the ground, fingertips pointing away from you. And then turn your chest away from your right leg. So you're looking towards your left leg. And then reach your left arm up and over. So what I'm going to do here is bend my left elbow and catch a hold of the right side of my head. So I'm supporting the head in the side bend. And then from there, you can play with either rotating the chest down towards your right thigh, or keep rotating the chest away from your right leg. Yeah, and your right elbow might be bent and on the ground, or it might be straight, so just the right hand is down. And just taking a few breaths into your left side waist, into the left side body. Good, and then slowly coming all the way up. And then we'll change sides. So left hand comes down to the ground, outside your left leg. And to start with, turn the body away from your left leg. And then reach your right arm over and up. So it might feel better for you to keep the arm straight, to keep the arm long. But what I'd quite like to do today is bend the right elbow and catch a hold of the left side of my head. So I'm sort of touching the ear side. And then from there, leaning over, willowing over towards the left. And you can play with either rotating the chest down towards your left thigh, or turning it up towards the ceiling or sky. So just whatever feels good or interesting. Again, you might want to close your eyes here. Good. And then as you're ready, just coming back up to seated, and prepare to make your way down onto your back. And when you get down to your back, just go ahead and bring the knees into the chest, rock a little bit from side to side. And then take your right foot down to the ground, so let go of the right leg. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. So we're taking a reclined figure four from here, reclined figure four stretch. And then lift up that right foot and start to draw the right knee in towards your chest. Take the hands to the back of the thigh. And if that doesn't feel good in the body, then you can just stay without taking a hold of the back of your right thigh. So you can just stay here. Or you might be here. Hands wrapped around the back of your right thigh. And if that's you, then you might also want to extend the right leg up. So straighten the right leg. And then you can play here with just rocking a little bit from side to side. You might find the sensations through your left side intensify a little bit if you lean to your right. Good. And then coming through center, and just release that down. So 2 feet come down to the ground. And then take it to the second side, so hooking your right ankle on top of your left knee. And then either staying as you are or bringing the left knee in towards your chest. Take the hands to the back of your left thigh. Maybe the left leg will straighten. And maybe you play with just rocking somewhat from side to side. And if you're not outside, you might like to imagine that you are. You might like to imagine that you're looking up at the sky and that you're lying on soft grass or on the beach. Just feeling the touch of the air on the skin. Good. And then letting that go and just taking any final movements that might serve you. So you might want to squeeze the knees in again, or perhaps take a few moments in a reclining butterfly position or constructive rest. So either soles of the feet together, knees wide, or the opposite. So knees come together, soles of the feet out to the side. The hands can rest alongside you, or you can take the hands onto the front of the body for support. Just to tune into your breath. And then when you're ready, just coming down into your final resting pose, into Shavasana. Sending the legs out long, taking the arms out long. And in order to help you settle, you might want to just take a few sighing breaths here. So a few slightly deeper, fuller breaths in. And then just a sigh out through the mouth. Just letting all the breath go. And then when you're ready, just closing the mouth. And if you can stay longer lying down, then feel free to do so. You can just stay as you are for as long as you can. But if it's time for you to move on, then just starting to bring some movement into the body. And what you might like to do is just spread your fingers really wide and then turn the palms over so that you're pressing your hands into the ground. And then in your own time, making your way up to a seated position. You can close your eyes when you get there. And I'm just going to read a few lines from a poem called The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. Come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. Come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. So just taking a moment to thank yourself for making the time to come and practice, and also to just imaginatively include all the other people who came together to practice today, um, from all over the UK, maybe even beyond. And for all of those who will at some point practice this class. And I, as ever, am really grateful that you all choose to practice here at the Buddhist Centre. So thank you to everyone who's practiced today. And thank you to Polly for doing the tech. And as many of you are aware, our centre is closed to the public. So we have a thriving Buddhist centre here that runs lots of classes and retreats and courses, and a lot of that has had to, of course, had to cease, at least for the time being. And we're ever reliant on donations to keep the centre running. So if you're able to give, if you're able to donate, then there's a link below this video where you can find out how to do that. So the next yoga session will be on Friday with Gita, who will be focusing on yoga for the immune system. So that is not one to miss. And yes, I'm sure you'll all join me in wishing her a very happy birthday for today. Okay, I think we'll end it there. So thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.